Okay. Likutei Moharan, Torah Lamed, Misha the Sakina. We're dealing now, after we have explained that the big Rebbe was the one who was capable of embedding a very sophisticated, complicated, and abstract seichel in a lower seichel that enables the people the small people, welcome to make yourself, by the way, okay, that enable the smaller people to understand. We're dealing now with how that constriction, that kind of embedding is actually happening. So we mentioned two aspects. One of them is the igula, the circle, the roundness, brain activity emits emission, which cannot be measured. Probably would be able to be measured with some kind of spectrum, whatever. But the fact is that it goes through the hair. The hair these are pipes that are coming out. The entire process, for reasons which we do not understand, is circular. The hair surrounds the head in the form of a whirlpool, round and round and round and round. And even when men get bolder, as they need less and less hair to take out excess energy, so to speak, there still forms around the head. It surrounds the head, and we said that all the celestial bodies are moving in circles. That circle is the avodah. The avodah of all the celestial bodies is cyclical. When you say that Hashem serves Hashem, that the sun serves Hashem, that the moon serves Hashem. So he says, when the sun comes out until it goes down, and it goes all the way underneath the earth and goes, it goes around again. If you notice, all the movements in the universe Bichlal is all the time, it's elliptical, it's circular. The same applies, in spirituality. Time, as we know it, does not exist. In spirituality, time is an intellectual advancement. That's why whenever there's a yortzeit, it's at the end of a year, which in service is cyclical. So what happened is, because there's Rosh Hashanah, there's Yom Kippur, and it starts all over again. The whole thing is a cycle, it repeats itself, and each time that the nifter gets to the day when he was nifter, he goes another madrega. Yeah, it goes higher. It goes higher because it's finished a cycle, which means it's finished a certain mahalach of intellectual advancement. How do these things fit together? We don't know. But that's the fact. The second thing is that is Sarah Ukma, that is black hair. Okay, the Rebbe says that the blackness which is like the pupil of the eye, which is black. It captures and it actually squeezes in, it summarizes the grand vision that stands in front of it. So the Maisa, the Rebbe will say weiter, is that when you're standing and you're watching, you're seeing a great mountain. Okay? When you're standing from afar, you have this huge mountain that is being squeezed, so to speak, freeze-dried, into your eye. When you think about actually what it is that you're saying, you see that the more that action of squeezing is taking place, in other words, you are able to see the entire mountain. What you're actually seeing is you're seeing the mountain in its totality, but you're losing the detail. You take a picture of the Mont Blanc, the Everest. So you see a picture of a mountain, but you don't see the different crevices, where they climb and the stones. When you're getting the whole mountain, the whole mountain is being shrunk.
See the big picture.
To perceive it, you see the big picture, but you don't see the small picture. The closer you get, the less is the whole picture, but the more details you are able to see. It is the same principle applies to when a high seichel is being embedded and shrunk and represented in a low seichel, which means you understand the principle, but you don't see the details. You basically understand, okay, I can see how, the big, the small, you lose basically all you get is just a sketch, just a general idea. Obviously the closer you get, the more detail you are able to see. We'll take that and put it aside. It's another akdama, so we can understand a little bit about the nature of when Sechel Elyon is being captured in Sechel Tachtoi. As to the kuda of blackness, or dafka black. Why not blonde with yellow polka dots? The answer is the same thing when you're looking at the paper. The paper is white. It has infinite energy, infinite data. In the white, everything is written. The only way that you can capture a specific information is by limiting the white with black. In the white, we said it many times before, in the white paper, you can write Aleph, Beis, Zayin, Ches, Ayin, Tzadik, any letter you want, okay? If you put the letter Aleph, means you exclude all other letters. And that particular place on the white page, which could say anything, the black forces it to say Aleph. The next letter you put a mem, and the next letter you put an aleph, suddenly says ima. It says mother, okay? That place could say a tank, it could say a gazillion different things, okay? So, when you're looking at a text, basically, what you're seeing is constriction and limitation ordered in a systematic manner in order to convey a specific vision, specific opinion, specific data, specific information, whatever it is. Okay? So the blackness is the thing that enables, the shrinkage of that particular information from the infinite messages of the white page. Limits only to one thing, and then you get it. Okay, mommy went to the grocery and she said she should take out the garbage. Okay, now I know what this page is saying. And when you come to think of it, if you write poetry, suddenly it unleashes tremendous inspiration and elation just by words on a page, right? So it is the black that gives off the pe'er and the noi and the beauty and the splendor of the Sechel Elyon. Again, what I've given now are three different aspects which are true. Nevertheless, they don't explain the whole phenomena that the Rebbe says here. I'm just saying them so that we have some kind of grasp of circle by circle and Sechel Elyon compressed and summarized in Sechel Tachton, and why Dafka black. So these are like touches on this particular, but this thing that the Rebbe is telling us, which was B'china Sara Ukma, B'china Shchora Nivenova, Ki HaShachros, in the middle of the eye, ומקבץ סרעוס ומצמצם אויסו כדי לירוס היטב, כן שכל תחתן בחינת שחר שמצמצם נובה ויופי בשכל עליון. We have not even scratched the surface of what is being said here. We understand a few little things we try. The Rebbe says we are allowed to do it, as long as we don't move from the Shulchan Aruch. Now, the Rebbe says another reason why it's dafka the hair, sa'aris. And he says, Ela sa'aris, these black hair that we're talking about, and b'chinas shi'uro de aslan doraisa. This is the specific form and measurement. Shiur is both estimate, and in both in Hebrew, in both quantity. The shear of load that fits into this truck is half a ton. Ask a person, what are you mesha'er can fit into this truck? You go, I would say about half a ton. So shear is a measurement. Actually, it means a measurement. This is a measurement, and it's also an assumption, an evaluation, an estimate. It says in Shir Hashirim, Noida b'she'orim ba'alo. Her husband is known b'she'orim. Al pipshat, it means that anybody who has a Talmid Chacham, when is it known that he is what he really is? When he's b'sha'arim, he says in yeshiva, and he speaks. But when do you really know? B'shiv toim zikne aretz. What it says is that you can have an Al Pinchas Grundman that sounds extremely impressive because he knows this and all this and all this. But what you don't know is that he knows a little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit. It's very spotty knowledge. When do you know what he really is? B'shivtav zikne aretz. This is okay. spread it out, let's see what you really know, then you can see all the holes in it. So Noida B'Shorim Ba'alo B'Shivtem Zikna Oretz. When in Olam Haba, then you really know what it's all about. The Zohar has a whole different mahalach on this Noida B'Shorim Ba'alo. Ba'alo is the Kadosh Baruch Hu. The Kadosh Baruch Hu is known. Noida Ba'alo. You know what the Kadosh Baruch Hu B'Shorim. The Zohar says Kol Chad Lefum de Meshar Belibe. In other words, the Kadosh Baruch Hu is known to each one the way that his heart estimates. You know the greatest of Kadosh Baruch Hu the way that your heart estimates it. As you go along, you get more and more and more. The Kadosh Baruch Hu does not fit into any, into any molds. The only thing you can do is you can imagine. He's this, he's that, he's great, that is that great. It's the estimate of your heart. This is the thing that gives you an image, which is very necessary for your Avodas Hashem. Yiras Shamayim comes from that. It's Noida B'Shorim Ba'alo Kol Chad, each one Lefum de Meshar Belibe, according to the way that his heart estimates, guesses, surmises. And it says like this: Ve'elohem Pchinas Shiura de'asmen d'oraisa. The measurements, the size, the shape of the letters of the Torah. Ki ha-mitzvahs em chochma boires baruch shmoi. The mitzvahs are the wisdoms of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, blessed be He. V'chol mitzvah v'mitzvah. Now, every specific mitzvah has its particulars. Yesh la shi'urim acherim u'gvulim. It has different particulars. It has different measurements. Like when you're eating, to say bracha achrona, how much should be shiur achila? To be Eitzah Kiddush, how much wine do you have to drink? How big the lulav has to be. It has particular details and measurements, that the mitzvah have to be. Kigon, mipnei ma mitzvah azos mitzvah bechach. Like, what's the reason that mitzvah, you only yotzeh when you do it in that particular way? Mipnei sheken chivo chochmoso izborach shmoi. You know why that mitzvah is dafka like that? Because the Chochmah of HaKadosh Baruch Hu has obliged it and said that that's the way it's supposed to be. Now, you have to understand, it's not an arbitrary thing. HaKadosh Baruch Hu wanted it so that's the reason why it's so. It's avada true, but there's a deeper understanding of this. The mitzvahs are the tools with which we, human beings, connect to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. When we're doing a mitzvah, when a person does something bad, he becomes bad. He is connecting to evil. When a person does good, it changes him for the good. You do good things, you're kind to people, it makes you kinder. So the maisim actually change you. It changes your chomer. It changes your physical dimension, and enables your spiritual potential to get unleashed for good or for the better. Okay? Bad deeds allow the animal to come out. Good deeds allow the kedusha to come out, and so forth and so on. The mitzvahs are the tools that enable a human being to connect with Hashem, with the unlimited godly. Dafka if you do it this way, dafka if you do it that way, dafka if you do it this way, dafka if you do it that way. That's why Chazal is so makpid, or what should be the fact that the tefillin have to be dafka square. You care? It's a little off square. It's more artistic. What do you care if the shiur bread a little small? Or what are you being so petty? The point is that dafka, the specifics of the mitzvahs, and you and me adhering to them, is the thing that enables us to connect to HaKadosh Baruch Hu as Baruch Shema. So it's critical. So Mimela, the wisdom of why dafka the mitzvah is supposed to be that sheer. The sukkah is to be the size of a minimum size of, you can put roisha verubai, and so forth and so on, so you'll be able to get into the mitzvah. Once you're doing the mitzvah, you are becoming one with the Kodesh Baruch Hu. And the precision is immense. I mean, just to drop a bit of so that you'll understand a little bit what we're talking about. Physicists actually have determined that if the energy of what they call the initial, what they call the big boom, okay, would have been different in one part of one with 120 zeros. You know, a tenth is small, 1/100th is smaller, 1 part in 1,000 is even smaller, 1 part in 1,000,000 is even smaller. We're talking about if it would have been different in one part with 120 zeros, life would not have been possible. No. No.
How can they prove it? How can they?
No, they can't. Because they can know how things would have been different. Whatever it is, in other words, it's mechuven. It's mechuven gadol. It's like that. You know, for them to say that it's a chance. It's like somebody from 5 miles away will shoot a bullet into the house, and it will hit the one wall, and ricochet to another wall, and ricochet to another wall, and hit the that thing on a safe, this way, and ricochet a few more times, and this way, and this way, and this way, and open the safe. Okay, so I'm saying this is how much it's the chance. Okay, so you're talking about the precision for Kodesh Baruch Hu is infinite, delicate to the nth degree. So you're talking here is the mitzvahs of Kodesh Baruch Hu are a representation of the chokhmah of the Kodesh Baruch Hu, which is absolutely and totally precise. And this is shiur and de'as from d'orais. Every single mitzvah has oisius and tevis and inyana. In the Torah, it says the mitzvah of tefillin. It says toitefos v'yila ois al yadecho v'toitefos v'einenecho. Every single mitzvah has specific letters that describe it. These are not. It's not coincidental. Those letters, those tzivuyim, not only when it says exactly the mitzvah itself, but also the words and diburim around the mitzvah. Vayomer Hashem el Moshe Leimer, Daber b'nei Yisrael, or Mor b'nei Yisrael. All of those are parts of the description of the mitzvah. And the Rebbe says we have a saga on the avodas Hashem of the mitzvah, but we have no saga of the avodas Hashem in the diburim around the mitzvah, which are part of the mitzvah. וזה בכל מצווה ומצווה יש לאויסיס וטבס ועניונים שהם שיעורים וגבולים, the measurements and borderlines שמצמצם וחוכמוס ברוך. that constricts and condenses the Chochmah of HaKadosh Baruch Hu Yisbarach Shmo, שזה בחינת הסלבשות שכל העליון בשכל התחתון. This is the action of where the infinite mind, the infinite intellect, Chochmah, that the HaKadosh Baruch Hu has created, when it's being reflected, squeezed, and mislabish and embedded in Sechel Tachti. That enable us, the limited, to be Zocher to Asogas Elokus. Because the mitzvahs of Torah, the actual mitzvahs, the physical mitzvahs, are the spheres of Malchus. That's the lower Seichel, in which is embedded the higher Seichel. The same thing, in the mitzvahs of the Torah, the Seichel Elyon is embedded in them. So it is when a person is Mekayim a mitzvah, he's Zocher to be Masik the Elokus of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, which is that Seichel Elyon, which is embedded in the Seichel, in that particular mitzvah. Now, when you do a mitzvah, you're sitting there with Talis and Film, whatever it is that Talis and Film does for a person, this is what you get right now. So comes the question, so why don't I feel it? Why don't I feel it? The film is dveikus. I don't feel no dveikus. I feel sticky maybe, but I don't feel dveikus. You know, how do these things come about? The answer is that we're measuring, we tend to measure our perception with a very crude tool of feelings. Our feelings are very coarsened and very rough because we deal with Olam Hazeh. We allow ourselves to get used to the kind of tickling, the kind of excitement that this world gives us. On one hand, it works, you know, because it's our pays cash. It works. On the other hand, it desensitizes us. It's like, as we said, like a person being in a very noisy factory all day long. Then he goes outside and it's quiet. You can't hear the birds because your ears are still screaming from the noise. It becomes, you're losing the sensitivity to see the, when you're doing hard work, you know, your hands become calloused. You know, then you will lose the ability of a very fine feelings, you know, like you want to feel a person's pulse. It's not, you know, it's, so you can't have it both ways. So being that we coarsen ourselves, the feeling, by the way, the feeling could be a very, very high and sensitive mode of detection. But it all depends how sensitive it is. And the sensitivity of the feelings, the subtlety of the feelings, depends on what do I expose them all day long to. If I expose them to Torah, I purify myself, I sensitize myself, I become more able, then I'm able to hear, then I'm able to feel. Then I can feel Kedusha more. You know, when I'm coarsening myself, the less and less I can feel. But nevertheless, you put on film, you get the effect of film. You just don't feel it. And since people tend to believe their feelings, the Maskana, nothing's happening. You know, I don't feel nothing. You know?
Doesn't work.
What? It doesn't work. You know, it doesn't work. You know, forget about it. It's like, okay, וזה בחינת is what it says, Bas הייתה לאברהם אבינו, ובכל שמה. Avram Avinu had a daughter, He says, Vashem berech has Avram bakol. Hashem blessed in Avram bakol. So Chazal said, he didn't have a daughter. And it says, Peruvu is a son and a daughter, right? So how can Avram Avinu, Hashem blessed him with everything when he didn't have a daughter? So Chazal said, Bas Oisol Avram. Avram actually had a daughter, Bachol Shma. Her name was Bachol. That was her name. So it's Bas Oisol Avram, Ubakol Shma. What saluted is a Bas. This is the Bas Ein, that's the pupil. Ayin HaShachor Sheba'ayin, the blackness in the eye. Shu B'chinas HaShachris Anal, that's the blackness that we're talking about. Shu Mitzamtzum U'Magbil V'Koilul Be'atzmei Kol HaDvorim HaGdelim Ha'omdim Kenegdoi, that constricts and borders and includes within it all the great things that stand before it. Kigon Har Godel, big mountain. That stands before the pupil of the eye. That's the black within the eye. So the entire mountain is being limited inside the bas ayin, the pupil. So that sees it. For it is the blackness in the eye. It squeezes and mitzamtzem all the things, the great things that are in front of it, and they are being included and being seen within it. And with this, you see and you perceive and you understand the thing that you're seeing. The same way, similarly, השכל התחתון, the lower שכל, מצמצם ומגביל השכל הגודל העליון ונכלל בתוכו. It squeezes, it puts together and it makes smaller and confines the great שכל in it. על ידי זה רואים ומבינים ומשיגים השכל העליון הגדול. This is how you actually get the שכל העליון הגדול. This is what he says in Avraham Avinu was zoiche to get the Malchus, to understand the Malchus, which is Bas, which understands, which contains Hakol, which contains everything, which can take everything and squeeze it into that particular thing. We said before in Torah Aleph that when a person puts the Malchus before the Chochmah, the Malchus is just a moon, I just believe. So, Machus Shemaim, I just accept myself the discipline. I don't understand. Other way, I don't look at the Chochmah. When the Keli is proper, then you're massing the Chochmah automatically. The light of the Chochmah fills it up automatically, but with a very, very special distinction. Nasa Ora Levana Ke Ora Chana. The light of the Levana is equal to the light of the moon, which means, as we said between us, that it's not that the light of the moon is equal in intensity, but it is true. The same way the light of the Sechel Amiti is true, that's not enough. You need to perceive it in a real, true way, in a disciplined, emunadike way, for that light to lead you to the emes, to where it needs to be. Because we have to understand that the way that you look at the seichel, at the seichel, the light of the seichel, that's the way it leads you. If you come to the light of the seichel with a crooked keli, you take it crookedly. This is Reb Meir Machshir es Hasheretz Bekan Te'amim. He says Reb Meir said that he can kasher, the too much sheretz with 150 reasons. In other words, if you're coming being a lawyer, to give reasons why yes, you can find, if your mind is twisted, if your mind is corrupt, you can stand in front of the Seichel Amiti and draw totally wrong conclusions. The right conclusions are only done when you're going first to the Malchus, which is Bitul. Mekabel Omachus Shemayim. Kadosh Baruch Hu says, I see now what the tzaddik says, what the Torah says, it doesn't fit with my seichel. It's because my seichel is wrong. That's the seichel amiti. You go like this and you have the seichel, then your seichel shines to you. Loit your madrega, where you're holding. The way somebody who is masik the seichel in a much higher madrega is also masik al pi emes. Because the main thing is the emes. And if you continue to work on the malchus, all the time malchus, the bas ein, the bachol, the omachus shamayim, the emunah, you get the seichel maybe diminished, a miniature, but it's true. It means it's as true to your madrega as the chokhmah is in the original kaviyachol. That's pshat or lavano, or Ad kan for today.